Hey, yo, shout out to the guy on the main channel who said, I imagine Tom IRL looks like Orson from Scary Godmother. And I'm so glad that YouTube now lets you swear in the first 5 minutes because fuck you, buddy. Fuck you, but fuck you, asshole. You piece of shit. How
Hey,
fucking dare you?
be polite to this person. You only look kind of like Orson.
Fuck you. Look at this fucking. Look at this dweeb with no eyes.
He has distinct eyes. Those are red dots. Either that or he's wearing, like, seriously JPEG compressed sunglasses and two separate laser pointers are being pointed at it.
It's really funny. That's really funny, dude.
It's a fascinating way to draw eyes.
We just came off the extraordinary high that was recording the weapons video. And now, now everybody, we're going to the Clue video. Who's ready?
The other extraordinary high of talking about a miraculously great movie that I love watching.
Fucking yeah. Oh,
we're gonna talk about Clue. We're gonna talk about things that inspired this particular movie. Not just the board game, but like classic Jane Austen novels. And we're gonna talk about how hot Tim Curry is all the time.
Senselessness and sensibilitylessness.
Is it Jane Austen? No, it's Emily Dickinson, right?
I don't know. Who cares?
Who does the mystery ones? One of those ladies.
Oh, the mystery was Agatha Christie.
Oh, those are the three women.
And then there were a couple left.
There's a Bronte there somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of them heights, one of them witherings.
There's only ever been two British women: the Prime Minister and the writer.
Jane Airhorn.
Jane Airhorn. There've been 5 British people total.
I got a question.
Everybody else is made up.
I got a question for the comment, Zach. Is mystery horror? I think it is.
I think they're adjacent. My genre take is that there are some genres that are like polar opposites and coexist like necessarily, but there are some that are like adjacent. It's sort of like a Wheel of Fifths sort of situation, or Circle of Fifths sort of situation. I contend that horror is the opposite of comedy, and that's why they work together so well.
Oh.
I contend that mystery is adjacent to, like, it's right next to horror in a way that can blend very well.
Yeah.
But it is not, it is like, you can have horror without mystery, you can have mystery without horror, but they are very close.
Yeah, it's very hard to have a mystery that does not have some horror elements, that is not scary in some way. And it's very hard to have a horror movie that is not in some way a mystery, right? Things need to be hidden in both. Things need to be hidden in order for those things to be scary, and things that are hidden are almost always a little scary, right? They're always a little mysterious. I think, here's a hot take, I think that Scooby-Doo it absolutely belongs on a horror channel, and we're going to talk about it at some point, that's for goddamn sure.
We'll do a Scooby-Doo video for sure.
You think we're not doing a movie about Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island, which I watched this year?
I feel similarly about mystery and horror I do about fantasy and science fiction, where they brush up against each other in some interesting like ways. If you go very, very far in science fiction, unless you're doing a ton of technical explaining, you're writing fantasy at a certain point.
Absolutely. And if you are writing fantasy, you have found your way into, you've like backdoored your way into science fiction. Right.
The second you start explaining how magic works, you've written a little bit of science fiction.
Yes, absolutely. You have started, like, people have started using the scientific process in manners other than, in just other worlds, right? Like, any wizard who starts writing down how magical properties work is doing science.
Yeah, correct.
Anyway, if you don't think that that Clue and like, okay, and then there were none is horror, right? It's so scary.
It's the perfect blend. Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
And this movie is making fun of that movie. And if we can do, if I would put Tucker and Dale on this because it's making fun of like Friday the 13th, I could put this on because it's making fun of And Then You Were None. And also, it's our channel. Fight me about it.
Yeah. Ultimately, the reason we need to put this on the horror channel is we felt like talking about Clue because we both really like it.
Yet the answer is I wanted to, right? It's really
Well,
pretty
we'll
much it.
gladly do even further stretches in the future.
So here is your opening clue. Zach, while I'm typing this up, would you like to explain to the crew at home how
Yeah,
this
if
game
you've never
works?
seen one of these videos before, we have another channel where we do this about a book series written by a man who writes books very quickly in New Mexico. So quick, those books.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and his name is Saul Goodman.
yes, yes,
He
famous
cooks books in New Mexico.
famous fantasy author Saul Goodman.
Anyway,
Uh, and no, sorry, science fiction author we established. But yeah, the way this works is Tom has a theory about Clue, and he's written down or thought up or somehow stored to present to me a lot of hints that will guide me there. And we are having sort of a guided conversation where I'm going to talk about the movie, talk about things that strike me as interesting from the movie, and lead hopefully to what the answer is.
so I have teased this video to both you and folks at home for a long time. I've been excited for this video for ages. This is the pitch to this video. Clue originally had four endings. It originally had four endings. But the movie, you may recall,
As three.
had three endings. The the theatrical release of Clue had three endings. And I set out to attempt to predict what that fourth ending was.
That's incredible.
And I learned during my research for this that the novel Clue has that fourth ending in it.
Incredible.
So I crafted this theory and then fact checked it against the book.
Were you right?
I'm not gonna fucking tell you.
Not until the end of this video.
You gotta wait to the end to find out if I was right. In the
So we're going
comments
through your
below.
theory, and then you're either gonna say, "Yeah, hell yeah," and we're gonna be pumped about it, or you're gonna say, "No, but it was also really cool, but mine was cooler."
The top
Okay.
line I have on this. This is my like opening spiel up at the top of my thing. There are 6 murders, 7 suspects, and 3 endings to the movie Clue. All of them are wrong. I heard tell of a secret fourth ending present only in the Clue novel, and I wanted to try to figure it out before I looked it up, and you better believe that I read the book. Whoo boy! Alright, here we go. Why don't we start by just talking through like this is a plot theory. So we are going to need to explain how people die.
Okay, so
But we can also talk about how really funny this movie is.
it's such a good. I wanted to like praise this movie. We watched this one with Shannon, who like sometimes has difficulty getting through entire movies, especially if they're like, I don't know, like underwhelming. But also if they're like throwing too much at you too quick. This movie drip feeds you the information really well at the beginning, so you understand what's going on. It is completely coherent and it has a plausible, smart mystery where you're never confused because you don't know what just happened. You're confused because you don't know why that just happened. And
Yes.
it's so good, and you like are able to lock in and be in the same place as our characters the whole way through, which is fantastic. I love this one. We were all sitting there watching it. I had seen it before, but it had been like a decade. and I forgot how genuinely like this movie flies by and is a joy the entire time.
Yeah, it goes
Um,
so fast because the cast is so good and it's so funny.
I I also know like a ton of Mrs. White, like a ton of like older women I know online, like I think who like grew up in that era and were like in their like 20s when it came out. They like use pictures of like the flames on the side of my headline all the time. It's like a meme for like women in their late 40s to early 50s.
Flames on the side of my face.
Flames.
I'm really fond of quoting, "Oh, you can use the one in the oh, no. Well, there's a phone in the well, what's in the study? Nobody's in the study. But there's a phone in the library." You mean you're not being blackmailed? No, but I did the things I'm being blackmailed for. Miss Scarlet was the only guilty person in all of Shawshank. I hope you guys are excited because this is gonna be like 30% us. I really want to shout out Alaric, by the way, because Alaric, I think in it counting up on the main channel, is on like clue theory number 16, just pitching clue theories until we finally do this video.
I'm so excited that we're finally doing it. You can
And
still keep it clue theories.
and
There's
Al
more.
and Alaric, I hope that you enjoy this video. But most of it is just gonna be us talking about how much we like Clue. Okay, all right. Let's. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk about the different endings because there's the ending that everybody likes.
Yes. So we're going to put.
So there's the ending where it turns out that Wadsworth was Mr. Body the entire time. But Mr. Body was essentially his Wadsworth, his butler, who he got to, who he killed to set up the stakes for this, and he was doing this to frame a bunch of other people for some murders he needed to do, or not even frame people, like to put a bunch of people who would murder people he needed to get murdered in the same room so they would murder them, and then have a crew of people to like blame for it so that he could escape scot-free.
Yes, exactly. Ending.
This is also, I saw this before I went to see a live production of And Then There Were None, and that was my theory about And Then There Were None the entire time.
Now, hang on. So I just need to collect my thoughts here and make sure that I'm not about to screw anything up. This is ending 2, where Wadsworth did it.
Wadsworth did it.
Wadsworth did it.
Which is not 100% true. Wadsworth set everybody else up to do it, and everybody had some amount of guilt except for Professor Plum, who is an undercover cop.
You're right. I'm sorry. This is ending 3. Everybody did it. Okay. And it was it's Mr. Green at the end who keeps saying I didn't do it.
Green, not
And
Professor Plum.
It's revealed that he was actually an undercover agent.
Yes. Yeah, Professor Plum killed somebody. Miss White, was Peacock. They all killed somebody, except for Mr. Green, who is a fucking undercover cop and not actually gay.
Correct. I'm gonna go home and have sex with my wife.
Possibly my favorite line in the movie.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Just shake, rattle, and roll. Do you remember ending 2?
I know one of them is Miss Peacock did it.
Fun fact, in the book, this is not ending 3, this is ending 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, because the book, it's fucking insane, dude. It's insane.
Yeah.
Because the book does the same thing. The book literally pauses and says, Quote, Dear reader, everyone knows that the best part of every whodunit is trying to figure out who committed the crime before the author tells all. You near the end of the book with delicious anticipation. Were you right? We have now reached that point in our story where we should reveal who perpetrated these dastardly deeds. But the charm of Clue is derived in part from the many possibilities. Was it Miss Scarlet, or Professor Plum, or Wadsworth, or any of the others? We've decided to make this more interesting for you, dear reader. The following are 4 different solutions to the problem at hand. Which one did you expect? This is so dumb!
It's wonderfully dumb. They're having a lot of fun with it. That's the great thing about Clue in general, is that they know what you came there for, and they're just trying to have fun. There's no pretensions. You wanted a campy mystery movie where you could try and poke out like some amount of an answer, and they give you 3 endings so that you could be right in some way, shape, or form. And the final ending means that if you suspected somebody of murder or of lying or of some sort of deceit, you were right no matter what. And I love that about the 3rd ending. You're right to suspect that character. They all suck. They were all lying and they all killed people, except for the one undercover cop who will shoot somebody right now to make sure he's also guilty.
Exactly. So I think this is the true ending, right?
Yes.
This is the one that like it is the like this is by far the most satisfying, right? It involves all the players. It's very Agatha Christie. And it like its ending sequence is the most fun and the longest. I think that's for sure the true ending. All right, what else you got?
Yeah.
Do you remember either of the other endings?
Yeah, there's Mrs. Peacock did it.
Absolutely. That is ending 1. Mrs. Peacock did it.
I think that's the weakest one.
I agree. I sort of agree. That is ending A in the book, and I think it has the least strength. Do you remember the other one? What's the other one?
I forget actually, and I watched it like a month ago.
The other is ending 2. Miss Scarlet.
Oh, that's right, with Scarlet.
And Yvette did it.
They worked as a team, yes, and then she took out Yvette as a loose end.
Correct. So I want to sort of very loosely walk through the plot, and I want to see if you can predict the 4th ending. You okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oops, what the heck? What did I just do? Oh, what the hell? Whoa!
What did that happen?
I AI highlight the letters.
Weird.
Freaking neat.
I didn't know you could do that.
Neither did I. Okay, I'm gonna move you a little bit over here. Okay. So I'm scrolling all the way up to the top. Just walking through the plot. Can you remember any of the major plot beats?
They show up. They're all invited by Mr. Body.
That is correct.
To this mansion.
Yeah.
You have ever been there before? It is a new environment to them. Every single person is being blackmailed.
Yes. Carry on.
They meet Wadsworth, who introduces them all and explains what's happening. Mr. Body shows up. There are a bunch of weapons. There's a fade to black, and it appears that he is killed. And then another series of murders begins. The chef who cooked their food for dinner is killed. Yvette is killed. And then later we find out that Mr. Body was not actually dead, but then he is dead again. And then I think, a police officer shows up and gets killed. Somebody shoots a Singing telegram guy. I feel like his
Yeah,
mom
that
had
was
a
really funny. Uh, Mrs. Ho is killed in the kitchen. Yep. The singing telegram girl is killed outside. Keep going.
the police officer is killed in the library,
Is killed
and
outside.
doesn't Yvette die on like a pool table?
Yep, absolutely. Yvette is killed in the billiards room. In the billiard room. I think it's here. Yeah, I think she's choked to death. Uh who else would hang on, who else?
Mr. Body is killed.
The cop is killed in the library. And the hitchhiker.
Oh, the hitchhiker, yes. I forget where
Is
he's killed.
the hitchhiker is killed in the in the lounge.
On the lounge, right?
I might have mixed these two up. I think it's actually Mr. Body that was killed in the lounge and him that was killed in the study. But that's fine. Fight me about it. Okay, so we have a batch of killings here, Zach.
Yeah.
It is now your task to figure out which of these people could have killed all these people. Let's start up here. Right? This one up here is Mrs. Peacock alone.
Yeah.
Yes, cat. Hello.
I can hear the cat. That's fair.
I know, cat. I know. I understand. Yes, you're adorable.
Should I, in solidarity, get my cat to meow? I can make it work.
Meow, 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 meow. Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear it very clearly.
Yeah, the
Which
cat.
cat is that?
This is Gray Cat. The Gray Cat likes to talk to me. Okay, Gray Cat. I'm gonna give you the mic real fast. Okay, ready? Meow, meow, meow,
Decided to become shy all of a sudden.
meow. Oh my gosh, she's camera shy. You meow one time? You meow incessantly when there isn't a mic on you? Come on, man. You're never gonna make it anywhere in this business. All right. I think it couldn't have been Miss Peacock.
I think that makes sense.
I think it couldn't have been Miss Peacock. It just doesn't. Mrs. Peacock didn't know about the secret passages. Mrs. Peacock would have had to go and get the gun. Mrs. Peacock would have had to physically choke someone with a noose, which is let's say physically demanding.
She's an old lady.
Yeah.
Basically, she's the oldest of the people there, and like, it's not a person who has worked with her hands her whole life. She is the wife of a senator. If anybody's not primed to do hard physical violence, it's got to be Mrs. Peacock out of everybody else who's there. Everybody else there at least has a better excuse.
I don't think it was this one.
I agree.
For those reasons. I don't think it was this one. Would you like to know why?
Go for it.
Do you remember the scene where everyone splits up and is looking around?
Yeah.
While they split up and look around, Miss Scarlet goes into I think it's the lounge to look around.
Yes.
When she goes in there she sees stirring. She's alone, only with us, the audience, and she sees stirring behind a curtain.
Yes.
And she stops and is frightened and approaches with caution. Which you would not do if you were the murderer.
Yes, if you knew that you murdered everybody there, you would not think there's another murderer running around.
Correct.
And it isn't Mrs. Scarlet with Colonel Mustard at that point?
I don't think so. I think they had just split up into different rooms.
Yeah. My other thought that why she didn't do it was that her like her murder plot in that one, she is tying up all the loose ends of her old business, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I think is she a double agent with the Soviets? Or
No, no, I don't think so. I think
no?
communism was just a red herring.
That's right. Communism was just a red herring. Uh, um, if she is getting rid of loose ends, Colonel Mustard is one of the few people who not only like knows who she is outside of this, because he was uh I believe somewhat passingly aware of her business because he has top secret info and she messes around with people in like the capital, but like would be able to like suss out that she's the person. And I think that Professor Plum is also potentially somebody who would know. So there's at least two people that she would probably also want to kill.
I think you're
Uh,
right. I think you're
yeah,
right. I
had
think that
opportunity to do both.
her killing just those few people is
Yeah,
incomplete.
yeah. The she basically has to murder everybody at a certain point because otherwise, like, it'll get out all the secrets she's trying to bury.
So, I think like when I was trying to do this I was trying to logic this out. I logically ruled out these two, both because there are
Yeah.
other endings and because I don't like them. So, I fully did this. Ready? Hang on. So, where is Miss Scarlet? I fully did this. Boop. Uh, boop, boop, boop. Ah!
Well, that didn't work the way it was supposed to.
It didn't. It didn't. I guess you can't. I guess you can't select. I guess you can't select like that, huh?
Nope, I guess not.
Well, okay then. I did this. There you go. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we can cross out Scarlet and we can cross out Peacock.
Yeah.
Like, one, this would not be a new theory regardless, and two, like, they don't seem plausible.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's talk about other plausibilities. It cannot be Yvette alone because she dies. She's one of the people out in here who dies. So if
Yeah.
she is doing it, it's in a supporting role, or she fakes her death.
Correct.
That has to be the case.
I am not going to talk too much right now. I am going to support with evidence that I have if you touch on something that I know. Uh but I'll let you try to talk it out and see if you can make a pitch. You and I have made enough theories in our lives that I think you can make a pitch.
I think the pitch here is so there's a lot of different murder methods. They go through pretty much all the weapons that one would expect in a game of Clue
That is true.
being used in that capacity.
That is true.
This points to somebody who is able to use a gun, strong enough to kill somebody with a rope and a blunt object, and a bunch of other things. Now, those are not all especially difficult and hard, but they require some amount of knowledge and physical strength. People are stabbed, people are shot, people are choked, people are beat.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can rule out Wadsworth here, because that's already ending 3, and he, even in the one where he is the killer, he is not the killer directly. He is the killer because he is how to phrase like he is setting people up to kill each other.
He has manipulated everyone else to be the killer.
Yeah, he does not have the capacity to do it himself. He says so as much in his villain speech. He
I
could have never just killed them all himself, but he could set them all up to kill each other like dominoes.
I apologize. I should have brought this up earlier. There's a line that I think is very important. That line is, "Whoever has the gun shot the girl." Right? They do this in all three endings.
Yes.
Whoever has the gun shot the girl. Uh, and that reveal, right? How like that reveal has to take place in this other ending that we are discussing. It's not the hitchhiker, it's the motorist. Fight me about it.
The motorist, yeah. So
Motorist. Sorry, go ahead.
the motorist is killed by Colonel Mustard in C, the early 3, I guess, because it's a loose end from his career. It's somebody who knew about his wrongdoing back from the military, who he was happy to have killed.
And in one of them, Mrs. White kills Yvette just because she wants to.
Yep. Yep.
For no
flames on the side of her face. You quote that to your mom, she'll find it really funny.
Flames,
she remembers seeing in theaters.
Flames on the side of my face.
Flames. I hated her so much.
Communism was just a red herring.
So
there's the whole monkey's brains bit. And in one of the funniest parts of this movie, one of the funniest parts of the book, which is fucking hilarious, by the way. It has almost it was written as a companion to the movie. So it has almost shot for shot exactly the same dialogue. But the scene description is really, really funny. Someone says, "And monkey's brains, though common in Eastern cuisines, are not to be found in Washington, D.C." And then the following line is that where we ate? Said Mr. Green. Green?
That's clever.
The guests each surreptitiously counted their number to make sure nobody else had been murdered in the 2-second interval of darkness.
That's very good. Okay, let me words.
Just how many husbands have you had, Mrs. White? Mine or other women's? Colonel Mustard, by the way, plays the principal in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and the bad guy in Danny Phantom.
Wait, he's Vlad?
Yeah.
That rocks.
Yeah,
good for him.
Just while you're cooking, I'm just gonna say some fun facts.
So, let me go back to cooking here.
Cooking?
Yeah, some cooking. So my gut always said that Colonel Mustard seemed the most guilty.
Ooh, okay.
But he had the motive, and he was like a military man. Like, if it was people need to die for this to happen, he might be more amenable to that because he sent people to their deaths all the time. But Professor Plum, like, kind of strikes as somebody potentially. The interesting thing is Mr. Green has no kills in any of the endings except for when he is an undercover agent. He has no motive to kill anybody. He's the odd man out.
Yes. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, faced with 4, right? You're at the end of a game of Clue. Who are you eliminating here? Who is it not?
Yeah, I think Mrs. White is the one I have the least suspicion on right now.
Yeah, she has a kill in another ending.
Yeah, she has a kill in another ending, and it is purely out of malice and hatred. That is the only thing motivating her. She does not seem to have a much higher motive than that.
Do you want to make the same argument for Colonel Mustard?
Yeah, I think that he's sus for sure, but he like isn't particularly bright is his famous character trait.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
this requires a lot of organization, and like his biggest character trait is he's a dumbass. The other one that he's a
Ah,
horn dog. But like like he's dumb. This is not something that he would probably be able to pull together.
don't be ridiculous. If I was the murderer, why would I reveal how I did it?
Now it could be that he's doing like a stupid person pretend or smart person pretends to be stupid, but we're not going to bring up Mace Tyrell in this video. We're too deep. Uh, let's see.
Interesting. All right, you got two
Well,
choices.
there's Professor Plum, who is a former psychiatrist, World Health Organization, works for the UN. And there is Mr. Green, a State Department employee, who is concerned that people might find out that he's gay.
That's true.
Played by Michael McKean, one of my favorite actors. Professor Plum, played by Christopher Lloyd, one of everybody's favorite actors.
Can I give you a line that may assist you?
Yes.
While they are all getting ready for the reveal, they haven't started the reveal yet, there's this wonderful line in the book. Of course, they were all nervous, down to the original 6 players plus Wadsworth. Of course, the murderer was somewhat more nervous than the others, but it didn't show.
Fascinating.
Isn't that a hell of a line to put in a murder mystery?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, the odd man out in ending C. In ending C, Plum kills Body, or it seems to, because it's not actually Body Wadsworth's body. But that implies that he at least has reason to get rid of Mr. Body. Like he is actually there for blackmail, like being blackmailed purposes, right? Like he showed up with the honest intention of getting rid of the guy who's blackmailing him, which implies that you did not set up a conspiracy there.
Then who did I kill? My butler, of course. Oh, dang it.
So, okay. I'm gonna go on a fucking gnarly conspiracy here.
Oh shit. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Green because, well, the United Nations could theoretically get the resources for this and be much less likely with the like administrative hurdles, the lack of motive, but a ton of these people are threats to the establishment, right? Like somebody who works for the UN and has questionable morals, a war profiteering general, a DC madam, people who worked for that DC madam,
I think you mean the DC
Milady, sorry, a fucking woman who solicits bribes on behalf of her senator husband, and a guy who runs blackmail rings. And am I forgetting somebody?
No, I think you.
No, Mrs. White is also like somebody who married a nuclear physicist and might have his paperwork still.
Oh yeah.
Like, these are all threats to the establishment. This is the greatest day in State Department history if they all die and nobody asks any questions about it.
So Zach,
this is the State Department clearing up some loose ends. Is this the CIA did it, and he's actually an undercover CIA agent, not FBI?
Zach, I have fucking phenomenal news for you. That was my runner-up theory.
Oh my god.
That was my runner-up. That was my runner-up, and I had to pick one before I started the book. This is from way downtown. I think that is a phenomenal position, and I'm so sorry. That is not what I'm looking for.
Oh, damn.
Damn. Good pick, though. Good pick. Yeah. It was Mr. Green with the help of Herbert Hoover.
Yeah, legit. The DC people say, well, we have these 10 threats that really bother us. What if we just invite them all to a dinner party?
Wait, I meant J. Edgar Hoover. You know what I
Yeah,
meant?
yes, J. Edgar Hoover. But yes, like literally, either the CIA or the FBI needs to get rid of some problems, and they decide the stupidest and most fun way to do it is to kill all of them at a dinner party.
That, Zach, is not mine, and it is not the secret fourth ending.
Okay, interesting.
Fantastic pull. I think you should be really proud of the tinfoil baseball cap that you have. It is.
That was your runner-up, which means you considered it heavily.
Yes, I think that's a really good idea, and I had to pick one. I think Mr. Green as part of a governmental conspiracy is a phenomenal idea. Like, it turns out that communism actually wasn't a red herring.
Well, everybody there is a high risk of the flipping to the Soviets.
Yes, right. It turns out that Wadsworth actually brought them all there in an attempt to get them all to defect.
Oh, and then that also becomes like almost sort of like Reservoir Dogs, where it's like I recruit a bunch of people for my crime, and I didn't know one of them was an undercover cop, so now the whole operation's shot.
I want to talk for just a moment about some of the subtext of this movie. This movie is not overly fond of subtext. It likes
No,
its text to be very loud and enthusiastic.
yes,
But there are some very cool, very interesting things. The like overarching theme of communism of the Red Scare is very cool because strictly speaking, Clue is the same game as The Thing,
yeah,
right? It's functionally a game of werewolf. Uh where and the references to communism and the Red Scare are all over this movie.
yes,
And they're
and
even oh, go ahead, please.
it is intentionally set in the 50s during the like peak of like Cold War paranoia about spies, and like it's a plausible reason for them to have like somebody going around and killing people before you figure out what the real reason is maybe they're a double agent, maybe they have political motive, right? It's a very easy thing to fill in the blank because they're working for the bad guy is simple enough to fit in your brain and freak you out, to add an element of mystery.
Absolutely. I think it's super cool. In the book it's a little bit more obvious because the scene setting is done with words. So, do you remember when Mrs. Ho is cooking in the kitchen, there's a TV on? Do you know what's playing on that TV? I went back
Oh,
and looked at it in the movie. It says in the book, and it is in the movie, Senator McCarthy's HUAC hearings
oh wow.
are playing on that TV. Isn't that freaking neat?
Yeah, that's perfect theming. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the cook is watching Senator McCarthy presiding over the House Un-American Activities Committee on the TV while she's preparing dinner. Uh, 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 yeah, which I just extremely cool.
So
Uh,
that you did not know that before reading the novels. That's probably not good text for your theory.
that is correct. I just wanted to bring it up as part of like this discussion of what a government one would look like.
Well, but that could still be text for the what the book actually does, which is the other thing I want to guess.
All right. Okay. Oh, you want to take another stab? Okay, go ahead.
Right, I'm gonna take one more. So my other backups
Okay.
were I'm gonna go in reverse order. My next most sus person was Professor Plum.
Okay.
Uh,
Zach's guess one.
yeah.
That was hang on. Mr. Green with the support of the US government.
Yeah.
Welcome, by the way, to like Theory Crafting 101. If we ever do this live, this is basically what it's going to be.
Yeah. The next one is Professor Plum he's smart enough to set this up. And if he has motive to kill some of the others, like he has ties to like Miss Scarlet's like brothel. He knows people in the United Nations, and he says how like insane those people are. So it could be that they brought him in because they knew he was morally loose, to like I don't know, help them. Like I don't want to say it's with the help of the government again, but like help them have somebody who is like reckless and dangerous and like on staff to deal with things. And also maybe he was making sure that he could never be knocked off of like his new position in the United Nations. He was getting rid of all of his loose ends so that he could be a more effective like what you call it, United Nations, whatever the fuck his role is, dealing with the craziest people in the world. He needed to like embed himself in there, so he got rid of Mr. Body, who was blackmailing him, and then anybody who might have had access to the information, and also people from his past, uh, such as Miss Scarlet, and you know, some of the other people who might have been in some way a problem to him. Perhaps Mrs. Peacock's husband was becoming a problem to like his interest at the United Nations. But I just can't think of a reason to like all the kills that actually happen. Like if he's trying to kill everybody there, that makes more sense, right? It's another incomplete thing, right? He really should be killing everybody in that house.
Yes, exactly. That's a lot. That's another of the issues that I was sort of running into, is that these things came to a head, and like the murderer, if their motive was pure murder, right, it should have been during those times when they were alone, kill the person that you're with, hide the body, and then pretend that you yourself have been killed, so just like a couple is missing.
Also, like I'm gonna be real here. If you're going and individually murdering people in different ways, you one are being selective about who you're killing, and two, like want it to be seen to be multiple different murders that might have different people doing it. Because if you didn't care about how they die, or you're gonna hide all of the evidence anyways, or you did want to kill like everybody, you would just kill them when they all sat down for dinner.
Yes. Why not just kill? Like, what is the role
Yeah, like
of Mr. Body if there are like conspiracies?
yeah, like a bomb under the table or cyanide in the like food would do the job.
I agree wholeheartedly. So, your Zach guess number two is
And if I just talked myself out of Professor Plum, I don't think it's him.
okay. All right, you want to take another step?
Colonel Mustard was my third.
Colonel Mustard is right
And I
there.
know he's bumped up to my second. So I think my second is if there's anybody who would dumbass their way into killing just the people he needs to by like trying to drag them all into the same room, it'd be Colonel Mustard.
That is true.
Yeah. And the only way I can think of killing everybody I need to kill is to have them all there, and I'll figure it out one at a time.
Okay.
But then there's people there he doesn't especially know. It could be the case that he showed up like he was being blackmailed. The whole setup is what it seems to be, and he sees an opportunity to kill Mr. Body, to frame it on some people who it would be convenient for him to frame, and to take out some other people who might have like compromising information, because Colonel Mustard is a client of Yvette, so like could blackmail him later. If he's just cutting loose ends, that makes complete and total sense. And if like I don't know, he knew that like the cook was on staff of Mr. Body, he might just be killing all the people who could continue to blackmail him. It all makes perfect sense. And then he starts killing. He kills the person, the motorist, because he recognizes him. He's a former driver of his, somebody else who could have bad information on him. And then he kills the cop to make sure that his murders are not discovered, and then he shoots the singing telegram girl because he's honestly just sort of losing his shit at that point with the amount of murders he needs to commit to cover up his other murders. To the point he just snaps and shoots somebody because he's a stupid idiot.
Well, yeah, but
Uh,
remember that the singing telegram girl is not there by accident.
it's
That
true.
that whoever did this had to plan to bring all these people here.
That's true. So there's somebody planning and then somebody killing in this theory. And the singing telegram girl is Professor Plum's former patient.
Yes. Yes, and all of these people, the motorist is planned to be here. The
Yeah.
the cop is planned to be here. This particular cop is planned to be here. Um all of these individuals are here by design. So whoever did this, who had to both plan to have like whoever whatever individual or individuals had to plan to have them all here and plan to kill them all.
Yeah, well, there's the other ending where there's the other possibility where they were separately planned to have them all there and to kill those specific people, but or like separately somebody else started killing specific people and they did not compensate or intend for that, or then we just end up back at C. Somebody knew that if they invited these certain people in with another person, the killing would naturally start happening, which is just C again. And it'd be lame if the ending theory in the book or the one you came up with was C but slightly different. Uh, unless you think that's cool, but uh,
Got a big old grin on
God,
my face right now. I want you to know that. I'm having so much fucking fun.
I don't, I don't know. Give me some direction here.
All right. Would you like me? I'm going to read to you a couple of lines from the book. These lines are from the I'm going to give you the motive of the killer. And we're going to see if you can figure out who it is.
Okay, go for it.
I couldn't be the perfect husband, so I resolved to be the perfect murderer.
Damn.
When the police get here, there will be 12 bodies.
And that is, and then there were none. Is the police will arrive with 12 bodies and no plausible explanation for what happened.
You're goddamn right.
I could not be the perfect husband, so Plum had an affair, and Mustard had liaisons with the sex workers in the story, but I don't know if he has a wife or not. Um, if that's stated outright. Is it Plum, and did I rule him out unnecessarily? Like Plum is certainly smart enough and is kind of losing his mind, and it could just be that he wanted to kill 12 people in a fascinating way, and then there were none, right?
Eight.
Because and then there were none. It's the judge. Spoilers for a book that's been out for almost 100 years, but in then there were none. Which was what the book was always called. We're not going there. No edgy jokes. It's too late in the video. Um, and then there were none. The judge had always wanted to kill people, and he had become a judge because he could at least justify handing out death sentences to people he believed were truly guilty. But that wasn't enough, and as he got older and sicker and got a bad health diagnosis, he decided in one blaze of glory he was going to kill a bunch of people who had in his mind gotten away with murder. I could not be the perfect husband, but I can be the perfect murderer.
Yeah.
Who would want to murder? Who is a bad husband? It's got to be Professor Plum. He's the only one who's like known for having an affair, right?
This is a good swing, but the imperfectness of this person's like marriage is not because of cheating.
Interesting.
It is because of communism. The murderer in the mysterious fourth ending of the Clue novel is Wadsworth.
What?
He couldn't be the perfect husband because he let his wife slip into communism. So he resolved to find Mr. Body, and like he was blackmailed and all of these other people are blackmailed, and he resolved to pull off the perfect murder. His plan, his motive is purely I want to kill people.
Incredible.
So he,
The butler did it for no reason.
yes, the butler did it because he wanted to. So he brings everyone together and he explains how he did it. And he explains in intricate detail, and this is my favorite part about this book. He explains in intricate detail, reinforcing my theory. He explains in intricate detail that he was the only one with opportunity to kill everyone in the timeline that they had.
Yeah.
He was the only single person who had the ability and opportunity to kill all the people who died. He was the only one.
Yeah, that's true.
He palmed that when he went to throw that key out the door, he palmed the key with a different key. He palmed it with the door key so that he could keep the key to the gun chest on him.
Oh, that makes sense. He just replaced it with another key.
Yes, he actually threw the door key. Which is very cool and very interesting. And there's always, and he goes to poison everyone before he leaves. He explains that everyone has poison in their systems, and if they don't do what he says, they're all gonna die. And then he goes to leave, and the police are there, and we do the same thing, except our perspective follows Wadsworth, and this is the only thing. This is a plot point. There's one plot point, one Chekhov's gun that is never used in this movie. Do you know what it is? It's in the first minute of the movie.
No, what is it?
The dogs.
Oh, the dogs. That's right.
The dogs are never used.
There are dogs outside.
The dogs.
Oh, they show up in this ending.
The dogs are in the movie because Wadsworth jacks a police car. And he is driving away, and Dennis Nedry style, the two dogs who were chained up outside are in the back behind him, and they fucking eat him. They tear his ass apart. He crashes his car, and that's the end. Shake, rattle, and roll. You just shake, rattle, and roll.
Rattle and roll.
It's nuts, dude. It's awesome. It's so good. It's so good. It's so dumb. I'm just a really big fan. Oh my god. Ending 4. Wadsworth did it 'cause he wanted to. I have a very distinct memory. You know how like there's memories that are just never going to leave you. About really specific things happening in really specific places. I listened to this ending while preparing for my trip overseas this summer. In an Ollie's bargain outlet.
That's funny.
And when I think about Wadsworth getting torn apart by these dogs, I know I was standing in the thermos aisle.
That's funny.
At Ollie's bargain outlets.
Did you buy a thermos?
Yes, I did. It did. It's in front of me right now. It's green.
It must remind you a little bit every time you drink.
It does. It does. It reminds me of Clue when I drink out of it. It's great. And I have great news, Zach. Oh, just like any good mystery video, we got one more rug pull.
Oh no, because that was happens in the books. That's not your theory.
That is correct.
Was your theory also that Wadsworth did it? Because you said he's the only one who has the means and motives and opportunity.
Yes. My
But yours
theory.
is not that Wadsworth did it because of communism and also poisoned them and also got eaten by dogs. It was something else.
Yes. My theory is, and it's funny that you said we don't just want to do like ending 3 again.
Yeah.
Because my theory is not only could it be written as an additional ending, it is also a theory that could have happened in the movie. This is an actual theory about the movie. I think that what I'm about to describe, actually happened.
Okay, I'm excited.
Whew, let me go into the tank here. Whew. The third ending is the true ending. Everything that happened in the third ending, I posit, actually happened, except the flashbacks. Wadsworth, he sits there, he describes how all these things happen, how each and every person, all of these individuals, right? How Mrs. White killed Yvette, and how Professor Plum killed Mr. Body, right? He describes how they did all of these things.
Yes.
And he made all of that shit up.
Because everybody kind of denies it for the most part, except for they like say, well, and they eventually cave and admit it, but like he just made it up, and then like one person admits to it, the other person, like, okay, whatever, who cares what I did? He fascinating.
Yes.
So he kills everybody and psychs them into admitting to the kills on his behalf.
Yep. Let me read something from my notes, okay? Consider it from Miss Scarlet's perspective. 6 people are dead, and Tim Curry is looking at you, saying how each and every one of you killed one person. Miss Scarlet, from your perspective, you are surrounded by 5 murderers, but you're innocent.
Yeah.
Wadsworth must be wrong, and one person killed 2 people, but you're gonna keep your goddamn mouth shut. Why?
Because the person who lashes out is going to be more suspicious and more targeted. And if you think that one person's killed 2, you might just think the whole thing's full of shit, and you don't want to draw attention to yourself. And it is essentially a game of Clue at that point.
Yes. If you are thinking that you're with these 5 people, and you are just told that all 5 of these people killed someone, and now we're all going to cover it up. Why shouldn't we get away with it? We're just going to walk out the door and pretend like it never happened. You're like, and then you go, no, I didn't kill anyone. Then everyone turns and looks at you with weapons.
You point out the impossibility of that. Yes.
Zach, if this dilemma was posed, what would you do? As Wadsworth says, why should the police come? No one's called them. You're like, you say, yeah, sounds good to me. And you get the hell out of the house filled with 5 murderers and an accomplice. You go to the police tomorrow, or you go to ground for 20 years. Everyone agrees round table. Professor Plum says, that sounds like a good deal to me. And Colonel Mustard says, that's right. And Miss Scarlet says, that's, not the toughest night I've ever had. All except Mr. Green, who insists, just like he has every time, I didn't do it.
Everybody else makes a half-hearted confession,
Yup.
except for Mrs. White, who has flames on the side of her head.
Yes.
But she might have actually just done that. That's another plausible option. But
I posit that everyone in the room is innocent, and Mr. Green is the only one who figured it out.
and oh, that's genius. Yeah, he's the only one who figured it out that they're all innocent, and everybody else is just getting off I'm getting off scot free. We all murdered one person, so we're all equally guilty, and they don't need to know I didn't do it because it gets me out of the room that has a murderer in it.
And
I get to leave the murder house.
like, just leaving it like that, what a cool, bitter ending where all of these people go to jail because they just admitted in front of a cop, right in front of an FBI agent, that they are murderers, even though they're not.
That rocks. I like that a lot.
Now, if I was to rewrite the ending, it would be like this. Wadsworth taunts Mr. Green until Mr. Green pulls out a gun and goes to shoot him, lands on an empty chamber. And then we do like the counting bit, like the 1 + 2 + 1 + 1.
Yeah.
And then the cops rush in. Wadsworth gets all of them arrested, and then he walks away, turns to camera, tosses the last bullet that he pulled out of the gun up and down, and then we cut to credits and shake, rattle and roll, and just shake, rattle and roll. Yeah.
Where he successfully frames everybody for all of his kills.
There it is. That's my pitch for the secret ending to Clue. What do you think?
I like that a lot, and that makes like the ending 3 have like 2 different sub endings.
Yes.
One where he is successful, and one where he fails.
Yes.
Yeah.
He fails, and all of these innocent people go to jail anyway.
Yeah. And the other one where he succeeds and they all go to jail.
Yes. Which would be such a cool ending.
Yeah.
Shake, rattle, and roll. And just shake, rattle, and roll. Tom's guess. Wadsworth framed everyone. That was I'm giving myself a partial victory, by the way, because Wadsworth, before he decides to actually murder everyone, well, he had always intended to murder everyone, but before he decided to light the house on fire, he stated his intent to frame everyone and put it in place so that it looks like everyone here is a murderer, or right, all these dead bodies killed each other.
Yeah.
So I'm giving myself half a point.
I think that is worth half a point.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool. I think I might. How do you feel about like doing this as like a mini series if it becomes very, very fun? Right, if we have another opportunity, we can be like, let's predict the ending to another like spooky mystery.
I like that a lot, actually. Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Zach, that's my Clue video. I know it's been a long time coming, but I'm so glad that you did this with me.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It's one of my favorite movies
of all time. We were playing Clue with Clue.
I'd like to give a shout out to my smallest sibling, who wished to give the following 2 alternate endings, some how do I phrase the following 2 alternate endings some like light. Consider number 1 that all the deaths are accidents. No, okay, that's fine.
No, sorry. No, I did think about that. I did think about that one. Sorry, I was yawning.
And
that crossed my mind is that everybody died through stupid bullshit circumstances. It was a bodies situation.
Perhaps my least favorite mystery of all time.
Yeah. I know you hate that movie, so I knew that wouldn't be your theory.
Mystery that is such a cool pitch for such an awful movie. Movie that is like a subversive mystery written by people who have experienced other people exclusively on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's terrible. Uh,
Antisocial slasher.
yeah, like whoever wrote that movie uses the phrase anti-social media unironically.
Without realizing that they're the one being antisocial, yes.
Um, and consider my smallest sibling wish to submit for consideration that everyone who is dead is actually alive and they're just pranking people.
That would be that. Wait, that's April Fool's Day.
Wait, what?
There's a slasher movie called April Fool's Day where a person thinks they're being hunted down and people are dying, but it was all just trickery. It was all just a fucking an April Fool's Day joke.
It's really good. Uh, Final point. One of the actors in this movie is called Leaving, Leeving.
Yeah.
And I went to trivia, and this movie came up in one of the questions, and I submitted leaving on a jet plane, and the person running trivia, I saw him look at it and saw him not react, and that man, that felt really bad, dude. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zach, thank you so very much for doing this video with me. Thank you for doing this channel with me. I think it's really, really cool.
It is
Uh,
very fun.
do you have any other horror theories you're cooking right now?
No, I think that was it for the time being. I'd seen Weapons. The only two movies I saw, horror movies this year, were Weapons and Sinners. I like Sinners quite a bit, but I don't have anything more than like a mild amount of literary analysis for it. I don't have like a theory wrapped around that. Uh, and we did my weapons theory already.
You know what?
So,
I think I have a Scream theory.
ooh, I've only seen the first Scream.
Ooh, okay. All right. All right. We might I might explain to you the plot of Scream 1 through 6 and then give you a theory. Does that sound fun?
Yeah, actually, yes, correct. That
It
is the one.
kind of sounds like a blast. All right, thank you for joining me. It's as great as always, and end on like play us out with shake, rattle, and roll.
Shake, rattle, and roll. You just shake, rattle, and roll. You just shake, rattle, and roll. You just shake, rattle, and roll.
Yeah.